Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for getting latest updated video.
Hello friends, in today's session we are going to discuss the lesson e-commerce and e-governance. From examination point of view, the weightage of this lesson carry 8 to 10 marks. So in this lesson we are going to discuss the definition of e-commerce, advantages, disadvantages, then we are going to also discuss difference between traditional commerce, e-commerce, and even though we are also going to discuss how many types of e-commerce are there. Then we also discussed how the trade cycle executes with the help of e-commerce, and even though we are also going to study various phases of e-commerce. And at the end of this session we also discussed how many modes of payments are supported by e-commerce. So guys, without wasting of time, let me start the today's session. So guys, let me start the introduction part. So first of all, we see what do you mean by e-commerce. So generally e-commerce stands for electronic commerce, and as we know that commerce, in commerce what we are trying to do, we are buying and selling of goods, then it will form a transaction, and after completing that transaction we need to pay either cash or either credit card or either check. So in that case we say that it is a complete transaction. But in case of e-commerce we are going to purchase goods and various things, means we are going to perform shopping with the help of internet. So generally e-commerce become possible in year 1991 when internet was opened for commercial use. So it is widely used in foreign countries, but nowadays it spreads all over the world. So nowadays we are in lockdown period, we are also user friendly to use these applications for buying and selling of products. So now we discuss the definition of e-commerce. So generally guys, e-commerce is a process of buying and selling of goods or services with the help of electronic medium, that is internet. And generally e-commerce is also referred the paperless exchange of information, that is EDI. So now in the same session we are going to discuss what is actually EDI means and what is the role of EDI. So generally guys, I'm just let you explain you in short EDI. EDI stands for electronic data interchange, and it provides you the service when a particular transaction completed, it will gives you an invoice on your mail. Now we discuss types of e-commerce. So there are two types of commerce, that is traditional commerce and e-commerce. Nowadays we are going to purchase the things. For that purpose we need to visit the market, and then we physically select the products, and then we are going to purchase these products. And in case of e-commerce guys, we are going to purchase the goods with the help of internet medium. But for that purpose we take the help of various websites. They also provides you lots of offers, and which offer is more convenient, that we are going to discuss first, and then we are going to purchase that particular product. So let me see the guys difference between traditional commerce and e-commerce. The first of all, the main difference is scope. Scope of traditional commerce is local as compared to e-commerce. E-commerce scope is global. So in case of traditional commerce, what happen guys, we are using the business, it is restricted, and it is also available for limited period of time. It is limited for a particular limited geographical area. But as compared to e-commerce, e-commerce is its scope is global, means there is no physical limitation, means we can sell the products with the help of only a single website. And if we consider the goods and delivery of services in instant with traditional commerce, In traditional commerce, focus on exchange of products and services through personal interaction. So it is manual process. But in case of e-commerce, what happens? The customer first visit the products, then see the various services, then we also discuss the quality of product, and we also see the focused on offers given on that particular product. And if we see the traditional commerce, it is limited business hours, mostly in hours during in a day. And most of the say we see that so many times on Sunday there is a holiday, or on Wednesday there is a holiday. Means we are performing our business for a limited period of time. But as compared with e-commerce, e-commerce performs 24 by 7 available. Means we can also perform the transaction, we can also do the business 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week. Means there is no holiday, so we can purchase at any time when we required. Let we see for traditional commerce. Traditional commerce is limited a particular geographical location, as compared to e-commerce global, and it has no physical limitation. So why, guys? Because we used website as a medium, so we can reach through all over world to each and every person, those who are interacted with mobile phones or websites. Then if we consider the payment mode, generally what happen, guys? In case of traditional commerce, we used cash, checks, credit cards or debit cards. But in case of e-commerce, we can use online payment method, that is bank transfers, credit cards, e-wallet, mobile payments. These are the various modes through which we can pay for the particular product. As we compare for delivery point of view, traditional commerce gives you instant delivery. But as in case of e-commerce, delivery of goods or services takes some time. Means for that purpose they provide you tracking of the product. When we purchase any product from mobile, they gives us the time, that is 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. So according to that we can track the particular products. Now the most of the point is what? Traditional commerce consists of local scope. Means we can cover a particular area, a city, or approximately a district. But in case of e-commerce, its scope is global, so we can cover a city, district, state, country, or we can also cover a whole world. So that's why there is a huge possibility of increasing our business model. Now guys, we discussed the advantages of e-commerce. So guys, there are approximately 6 advantages which are related with e-commerce. So in that, first one is global scope. So as I told you earlier, e-commerce provides sellers with a global reach. Now sellers and buyers can meet in virtual world without barrier of place, that is geographical area. Means one can purchase the product from USA and the seller situated in India. So means there is no need to come here, so they can purchase directly with the help of website. The second advantage is electronic transaction. Electronic transaction, e-commerce reduces the paperwork and significantly lower the transaction cost. What it means, guys? Means when we visit in traditional commerce, means actual shop, so we need to purchase bills and everything, so raw data we need to be kept tracked of. But in case of electronic commerce, what happens? The bill should be provided to you in the form of SMS, email, and bills are also available on your convenience. And we can also take the hard copy of that bill also. To perform this transaction, we used credit cards, debit cards, smart cards to make the payment, that is fund transfer. And we also use internet banking also to complete our transaction. Now next is cost saving. E-commerce application provides users with more options to compare and select the cheaper and better option. It helps reducing the cost of searching a product. Means what happens, guys? Suppose if I need to purchase one mobile phone, so I am going to check the various schemes on Amazon, and we also going to see the same thing, same product on Flipkart also. Then we are going to compare which application gives you more facilities. So after comparing, we are going to purchase, we are going to select the product. And even though we also compare with traditional commerce also, means we are going to visit the market, and we are just check out the cost, and then only we are going to decide which is more convenient and reliable, so which gives you more and more benefit and discounts, so that will helps the customer from beneficial point of view. Now e-commerce has enabled rural areas to access services and the products which are otherwise not available to them. So this is the major advantage of cost saving. Means there is no need to go to different place for purchasing the product or searching the product. Now guys, our next concept is anytime shopping. So we know that, guys, as I told you earlier, e-commerce supports or it provides 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week. So we can purchase at any time whenever we need any products we want. Then according to our requirement, there is no limitation for shopping. So this is the main and biggest advantage of e-commerce. So means there are a huge possibility to increase our business hours. Then next concept is no intermediators. So when we purchase any products, sometime what happen, company manufactures the product, then that product comes to the distributor, then wholesaler, then retailer, and finally we receives the products. So in that case what happen, guys, the cost of product may get increased. So in that case we get a costly product. So what happen in case of e-commerce, in that case intermediator is only a website, and company directly sells the given product to the customer. So the wholesaler, retailer, distributor, these intermediators are automatically removed, and their profit directly gives as a benefit to the customer. So that's why we will get cheaper product as compared to our traditional market. Our next concept is public services. So e-commerce helps the government to deliver public services such as healthcare, education, social services at reduced cost and improved manner. So we can also purchase the medicines, books, then multimedia devices that will definitely beneficial to improve our knowledge as well as health. So guys, after discussing various 6 advantages of e-commerce, now we move to the disadvantages of e-commerce, and in that the first one is setup cost. So what happened, guys, suppose if I want to approach with my business with e-commerce, then first of all I have to create a website, or I have to registered with standard websites, and the setup of hardware and software, training cost of employees, the constant maintenance and upkeep are all quite expensive. Hence we need to provide the registration fees, softwares and various hardware components that supports to establish the setup, which is quite expensive. So guys, it is difficult to approach with online business, but nowadays it is more easier. But in earlier days, to approach with e-commerce, it is quite expensive. So that's why this point comes under disadvantages. Now guys, we move to our next drawback, physical presence. So in that guys, what happen when we select any product from website, generally we see the features and the quality of products, but when we receive the actual product in our hand, so there might be a change in the product. Why this is happen? So guys, because especially jewelry items or dress material, designing materials, it may vary. Why is it so guys? The lack of personal touch can be a disadvantage for many types of services and products like interior design or jewelry business. So in that case, what happen guys, we select the product only and only by our physical appearance and physical visit. Say for example, suppose if I need to purchase a diamond jewelry, so if I try to visit the website, so I cannot get the how the actually its quality, whether it is good or not. So there might be a chance of fraud with the customer. So this is our second disadvantage, that is physical presence. Now we moved our third disadvantage. The various serious concern is security, because what happened guys, after completing the transaction, when we enter into the last phase, that is payment phase, so in that case most of the customers they prefer credit card, debit card. So what happened guys, most of the hackers or unauthorized users, they may try to trap the customer by making dummy login or dummy websites. They may also screen records and recognize your ID and password, and maybe there is a chance of misuse, so that will damage the customer. So as point of security concern, there is a less security. But nowadays what happen guys, when a consumer or customer performs any kind of transaction, we know that we should have to log in with proper OTP. So that's why we can recognize whether that person is authorized or not. So finally guys, we move our last disadvantage, that is goods and delivery. So what happened guys, suppose if I'm going to purchase a mobile phone from Snapdeal or from Amazon or Flipkart, but when I received the particular product, there might be a chance of receiving damaged product, or the arrived product will have some problem that will not fulfill our requirement. So in that case, we are approaching to the replace the product. So it is quite hectic job, and there might be a problem with delivering the product, maybe occurs by shipping or mix up with other products. So guys, what happened, we may receive the damaged or faulty product. So in that case, we try to approach the company regarding that product, and we need to register our complaint. So that's why they will try to provide you our next replacement product, but this is quite time consuming. So these are the various drawbacks related with e-commerce. But as compared with traditional commerce, we are physically check the products, we are test it, and then we purchase it. So guys, these are the four various drawbacks, that is setup cost, physical presence, security, and goods and delivery. So there are so many times this question was asked in online examination from theory point of view, what is e-commerce, and states its various advantages and disadvantages. So this question may ask for 4 marks. So guys, in that case you must need to explain the definition of e-commerce, and all the 6 advantages and disadvantages you may explain by in single point. So our next concept is various types of e-commerce. These types are various types of e-commerce we are going to discuss now. So guys, according to the participants, types of e-commerce classified into 4 different category, and these participants concerns business, administration, government and consumer. The first type of e-commerce is business to consumer model. So in that case, what happen guys, we need to cover business and the consumer, and the best example is Amazon, Flipkart. Why guys, what happen? Because when a consumer wants to purchase any product, we can see the detailed list by with the help of that website. So that's why consumer will get a detailed and filtered list, so it can easily identify, it checks the requirement and the availability, and finally it selects the product. So these things are come under business to consumer, that is B2C model. Now we move our next type of e-commerce. Now guys, our next model is business to business model. It is also called B2B model. So in that case, what happen guys, company and distributor, wholesaler, retailer, so these are the intermediators are come to distribute the given product, or that helps the reach the product from business to particular consumer. So in that case, consumer doesn't involve in this model. So we take the example of, suppose manufacturing of soap. So generally what happen guys, company manufactures soaps, shampoos, and these are the beauty products, and these products they directly send to the distributor. So distributor gives the requirement to the company, please fulfill the following requirements, and according to the requirements company resends the product. And suppose if sometime what happens, if they receive faulty products, then it sent back to the company. So it is concerned with business to business model. So in that you keep one thing in your mind, there is the absence of consumer, means trade takes place between company and dealer, or you can say distributor. Now we move on to our next type of e-commerce, that is consumer to consumer. So in that case, what happen guys, it is also called C2C model. Consumer helps to seller their assets like residential property, cars, motorcycle, etc., or rent a room by publishing their information on website. And if we concern the example of OLX, Quicker, these are the websites that helps to sell the product from one consumer to another consumer. So in that what happen guys, these company charges nominally to the seller, and sometimes they may receive the charges from buyer also. So they works on commission basis. So as we also know that on OLX, suppose if you visit on OLX website, so there are so many products are available for sale, and if we take the interest in that case, so we can interact to the customer directly and ask the product. So that's why in that case transaction takes place. So it is called what guys, consumer to consumer model. So in this model, two different consumers are included and they are interrelated with each other with the help of our websites. So now guys, we move to our last type of e-commerce, consumer to business. It is also called C2B model. So in this model what happens is, consumers have product or services of value that can be consumed by businesses. So let me take the example of suppose a particular road or a construction. So in that case what happen guys, they give the advertisement in newspaper or websites, or they use social media for the company in the form of tenders. So company try to fill their tender requirement, and and submit it to the consumer, and then consumer gives the tender to those company having less rate or reliable charges. So we may also take the different example, that is a blog can be written by an author for a business to improve sales of product, that is ebay.com. If you visit ebay.com, so you will get the clear idea. To improve the productivity, we the consumers are play very important role. So that's why it is called consumer to business model. Means consumers takes the initiative with the business. We can also take the example of trade also, online trading also. That kind of example also comes under consumer to business. Now in this way we have discussed 4 different e-commerce model. Now guys, we switch on to our next concept, e-commerce trade cycle. From examination point of view, this topic is very important. This question asked so many times in online examination in theory part for 4 marks. Means explain the various phases of trade cycle, e-commerce trade cycle. So generally a normal trade cycle consists of 4 different parts. So these parts we are going to discuss one by one. Our first step of e-commerce trade cycle is pre-sale. So generally what happens guys, it consists of 2 different sub-steps, that is search and negotiate. So generally what happens, according to the requirement, consumer try to search the required product from given set of list, and if it likes the product, and then it try to purchase it. In negotiate step what happen guys, customer find a supplier who offers good quality of product at cheaper price, and then consumer agrees the terms forwarded by supplier. Matlab, say for example guys, if I want to purchase a Samsung brand phone, so what happen guys, so we just try to list out the sellers, and we try to find out the best deal. Means some dealers gives you 500 rupees discount, some dealers gives you 1000 rupees discount. So in that case what happen guys, there is a comparison provided to the customer. So the customer select the comparison and make a better deal. So that helps to save the cost of the customer. So these things are come under pre-sale. So the pre-sale again consists of search and negotiation phase. Consumer search the products, and after getting a best deal, it try to purchase the product. So guys, we move to our next step of trade cycle, and the name of second phase of trade cycle is execution. This phase consists of order and delivery. Means what happen guys, in first phase in pre-sale what happen, consumer selects the required product and try to get a best deal. So after getting that deal, he try to order for delivery. Then customer sends an order for the selected product. After processing order, customer receives delivery of that product. So means in execution, after finalizing the product, order and delivery of that product takes place. After completing this phase, the next and very important phase is settlement. So in this phase what happens guys, this phase generates invoice of payment. Invoice means bill. So we receive the bill after purchasing the product. So that bill consists of information about that product, quantity, then price of product, then details of seller. So this kind of bill, or you may say that invoice, received with the help of email, and it took place with the help of EDI, that is electronic data interchange. So our invoice consists of detailed information of product, serial number, even though the cost of product by including CST as well as GST. So this is our third phase. So we already discussed pre-sale. It consists of search and negotiation phase. In execution phase we discussed order and delivery. Now after finalizing the product we have to pay. So that payment, after paymenting the given product, we'll get invoice on our mobile phone or computer system. Thereafter we enter into the last phase of trade cycle, and it is called after sale. So this is the final stage of a e-commerce trade cycle. This phase consists of warranty and after sale service. So when guys the warranty period comes, so suppose if we try to purchase any electronic product or any electronic gadget, so for example mobile phones, then power bank, batteries, smart watches, television sets, or all kinds of electronic products that comes under warranty. So we received the warranty after receiving the invoice, and it also includes maintenance service for free or at minimum cost. After sale services means customer or consumer will do complaint about performance of product and get maintenance service from the given supplier. Suppose, say for example guys, suppose if I'm going to purchase one mobile phone, and within 2-3 months, suppose if I'm getting the heating problem or that phone get hang, so these kinds of complaints occurs, then what happen, we try to visit to the nearest customer care, then we register our complaint. So in that case what happen, we have to show the product, and even though we have to show the bill and its warranty. So that's why we will get the better service, and we will fulfillment of our problem. So these are the 4 various steps that we are going to discuss in e-commerce trade cycle. So this diagram shows you the brief description of trade cycle, means trade cycle divided into 4 categories: pre-sale, execution, settlement, and after sale. So pre-sale divided into search and negotiation, whereas execution bifurcates into order and delivery. In settlement what happen guys, we receives the bill, or you can say that invoice, after payment mode option completion. And after sale comes when we purchase any kind of product which comes under warranty period. So these are the basic information regarding e-commerce trade cycle. Now guys, what happen, the most of the important part is mode of payments, means when we purchase any product, so how can we pay, or what are the various methods to pay for given purchased products. So that things we are going to discuss now. On screen guys, we have seen so many payment options, and some of them we are going to discuss here right now. So our first payment mode is credit card. Credit cards are the most common way for customers to pay online. Merchant can reach out an international market with credit cards by integrating payment gateway into their business. So they allows you different company banks credit cards provided to the customer. So after entering credit card details, so we can make the payment for given purchased products. So now guys, our second payment mode option is mobile payment is our second mode of payment. So in that case, what happen guys, with the help of our smartphone, if we used various app and if we try to link our bank details with these apps, so customer can easily pay for given purchase product. So let me discuss some of the examples. We know that UPI, Bheem, then Paytm, Google Pay. So these are the options. Then Phone Pay options is also there. Airtel. So there are so many companies, they are now approaches for mobile payments. So they also gives the various offers for the customer. Means if you pay your electricity bill, if that amount is above 500, then you receives 10 rupees or 20 rupees discount. So these are the offers given by the companies to the consumer. So consumer can use their app and they linked their details with that app, so they can make easily payment, and it will gives the quick solution for the customer to purchase on e-commerce website. Now guys, we are moving our third type of payment mode, that is bank transfer. So by using additional facilities provided by bank, that is NEFT or IMPS method, or we can also use internet banking. So we can transfer the fund, that is digital money, to the destination person who sells the product to the consumer. So bank transfer is used when money is sent from one bank to another bank. Transferring money from bank to bank account usually fast and faster than withdrawing and paying in cash, because every transaction will be authorized by checking consumers banking details. Means suppose if I want to purchase suppose 5000 rupees product, and if I try to pay the amount with the help of NEFT or IMPS, then bank application should confirm you twice, means whether you have entered a proper correct details or not. If that details is okay, then and only then your transactions get properly successfully done. So now guys, our last payment mode that we are going to discuss now, it is e-wallet. It is most popular option nowadays used by every consumer. E-wallet is a type of electronic card which is used for transaction made online through a computer or a smartphone. E-wallet is a type of prepaid account in which a user can store money for any future online transaction. And e-wallet is protected with a password. Say for example, a State Bank Buddy, Paytm wallets, Phone Pay. So in that case, what happen? We have to load some money from our bank account to that wallet. So that will makes you, and that will make more convenient to pay a small kinds of payment. And these applications are protected with a password or a security code, so it will safe and secure. So in this way guys, we have discussed the various modes of payments. So let me take the review of our today's session, because guys, this is totally a theoretical lesson, so you have to keep all the information by reading continuously. So in today's session, we have discussed the definition of e-commerce, that is electronic commerce. Then we discussed the various advantages, disadvantages of e-commerce. Then we also discussed the difference between traditional commerce and e-commerce, then which is more better or which is more reliable. Thereafter we discuss the types of e-commerce, that is B2B, C2C, C2B and B2C. So these are the four different methods that we discussed, and then finally we study phases of electronic trade cycle. So we already discussed four types of trade cycles. So guys, you have to study these various phases of trade cycle, that is pre-sale, execution, settlement and after sale. Thereafter we also discussed at the last various modes of payments. Then in that topic we have discussed credit card option, mobile payment option, bank transfer, that is internet banking option we also discussed, and finally the most popular option that we discussed, that is e-wallet. In that case we use Paytm, phone pay, etc. options, so that will help you to perform a fast transaction. So guys, in next session we discussed m-commerce, means what actually m-commerce means, what are its advantages, then what do you mean by EDI, then how many types of e-governance are there, so that then how can we protect our data from unauthorized user, or how we will make more and more secure transaction. So which things we need to keep protected, so that we are going to discuss in next session. So guys, if you have any difficulty regarding this topic, so you listen this video very carefully, and if you found any difficulty, so please write down me in our WhatsApp group regarding your all the queries. So we'll discuss these queries and I will try to satisfy answer of your questions. So thanks for watching this video guys. We'll meet in our next session. Till then, thank you.